Endocrine system. So, chemical signaling. Animals have two regulation systems that they use to release chemicals. So, the endocrine system and the nervous system. So, the endocrine system releases hormones, the nervous system releases neurotransmitters. So, today we're going to talk about hormones and the endocrine system. Hormones are made in different glands and are released into the bloodstream. Also know that some hormones target close by and others far away. Trophic hormones stimulate other glands, typically far away from the original gland. Hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a region of the brain that acts as a bridge between the endocrine and the nervous system. The hypothalamus can act as if it is part of both the nervous and the endocrine system. So, for example, it acts like a nerve when it sends electrical signals to the adrenal gland to release adrenaline during times of stress. It acts like an endocrine gland when it produces oxytocin. The hypothalamus also regulates hunger, thirst, and temperature. There are 8 major glands in the endocrine system. Although they are not connected, they are able to communicate to each other efficiently through the use of hormones. So there's a little chart here on the right. I don't have access to my mouse. This is the only free software I could find, and they don't let you have access of the mouse when you're doing this in PowerPoint mode. So I recommend you stop, pause it right here, and just read the chart. I'm going to move on, but I recommend pausing it. The pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland is made up of 2 lobes, the anterior and the posterior pituitary gland. So once again, I don't have access of my mouse, but if you look to the right, you can see this little like sac looking thing. And it is like a blown up picture of that little square region of the brain. It has 2 lobes, the anterior and the posterior. So we'll see anterior pituitary. So as you can see, I've highlighted it. It's responsible for the following hormones. Growth hormone, luteinizing hormone, which stimulates ovaries and testes, thyroid stimulating hormone, which stimulates the thyroid gland. I don't know how to pronounce this one, so I'm just going to call it ACTH, stimulates the adrenal cortex to secrete glucocorticoids, corticoids. And the follicle stimulating hormone, which is FSH, stimulates some gonads to produce sperm and ova. Posterior pituitary, so it's responsible for the following. Oxytocin stimulates contractions of uterus and mammary glands, and antidiuretic hormone ADH promotes the retention of water by kidneys. Kidneys I'm actually going to talk about in the next video because that's more like excretion and waste, and it's too much to fit into one thing, but you'll see in the next video. So the thyroid, so located on the front of the neck, it has very important functions, so it's like right here, if you can't see from the diagram. The thyroid gland produces thyroid hormone, which is responsible for growth and metabolism. The production of thyroid hormone is controlled by another hormone, the thyroid stimulating hormone. TSH is produced by the pituitary gland in response to the hypothalamus. Thyroid hormone. So there are 2 different types of thyroid hormone. The numbers 3 and 4 represent how much iodine is in the thyroid hormones. T4 is inactive and is converted into its active form, T3, in order for growth, metabolism, and development to occur properly. The thyroid also produces calcitonin, which is responsible for lowering blood calcium levels. Calcitonin works in cooperation with parathyroid hormone, which is responsible for raising blood calcium levels. Parathyroid. Your body has 4 parathyroid glands. They are located behind the thyroid, and they are about the size of a grape. So if the yellow things on the side of that little, like, I don't know what that is. Like, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. I know it's thyroid, but like a crocodile-looking thing, or whatever. But you see the little yellow bean-looking things. They're about the size of a grape. So they're responsible for regulating the amount of calcium in the blood. They make hormones as necessary to increase or decrease the amount of calcium in the blood. The parathyroid hormone increases blood calcium by doing the following. So it releases calcium from bones, allows calcium to be absorbed from the intestines, prevents kidneys from excreting calcium in the urine. So if your body has too much calcium, then the thyroid will release calcitonin, which helps your bones absorb calcium in the blood. However, if your body does not have enough parathyroid hormone, God, I'm like exhausted. It's like 10 o'clock right now. However, if your body does not have enough, parathyroid hormone will raise the calcium levels. The adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are located on top of the kidneys. They kind of look like hats. I don't know if you can see, like triangle birthday hats or something. They're kind of yellowish triangles. The glands have an outer adrenal cortex, which is yellow, and the inner adrenal medulla, which is kind of red. Um, so you can kind of see it's like sliced in half as the inner cortex. Um, the adrenal, sorry, that's the adrenal medulla, secretes two hormones called adrenaline epinephrine / epinephrine. They're the same thing, just different names, and neuroadrenaline / norepinephrine. So once again, neuroadrenaline and norepinephrine are the same thing, but yeah, just different names. These hormones are released during times of stress, both physical and mental. So the adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers: zona reticularis, the inner layer; zona fasciculata, middle layer; and zona glomerulosa. The adrenal cortex secrete hormones known as corticoids and are involved in either carbohydrate metabolism or the regulation of water and electrolytes in our body. So the pancreas. The pancreas has both endocrine and exocrine digestive functions, but we're only going to focus on its role in the endocrine system right now. Its primary job is to regulate the amount of sugar in your blood. It does this through the hormones insulin and glucagon, which are produced by the islets of Langerhans, which you can kind of see this little circle here. I wish I had access to my mouse right now. But yeah, if you just pause and kind of read a bit, you'll know that the islets, you'll figure it out. So the regulation of sugar, so this is through the pancreas. So after a big meal, your blood tends to be flooded with sugar, so your pancreas goes into full swing. Once it detects too much sugar, it releases insulin, which directs sugar into the cells. However, if the sugar is too low, then your pancreas releases glucagon, directing sugar out of the cells. The balance between glucagon and insulin keeps blood sugar regulated. The pineal gland. The pineal gland is located in the brain and is involved in the setting of biological rhythms. It does this by secreting melatonin, the sleep hormone, when your eyes are not absorbing blue light. Sorry, let me just clarify that last bullet. So basically, melatonin is secreted. Melatonin puts you to sleep when you're not exposed to blue light. So when you are exposed to blue light, it's daytime, there's blue sky. You're not making melatonin because you're awake. So just to recap, you can pause this. This is just a nice little chart that I found. You should read it over. We need to know all of these glands and hormones for both the AP and our test on Wednesday. So this is the first, glands 1 through 4. And this is glands 5 through 8. And once again, I recommend pausing and just looking at this for a second. Okay. Types of hormones. So there are two types of hormones. So lipid or steroid hormones, they're one category. They're able to bypass the plasma membrane and go right through it, allowing them to bind to a receptor inside the cell. Protein or peptide hormones, once again, that's like a second category. They cannot dissolve the plasma membrane, so they bind to a receptor on the surface of a cell, creating a cascading response. I don't know if you remember, but camp and all that stuff. You should remember, it's important. And that's it. Yeah, coming soon. So waste and excretion. So that's like kidneys and nephrons, and I'll get to that soon. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have it uploaded.